So, what do you think about that? I'm eating carrots because I'm on a diet. I think I have to lose some weight, so I eat carrots as snacks on the evening. At night time, I always get this craving for something sweet. But I guess this will have to do for a while. Anyway, this was my entry for the POV B-roll challenge that Peter Lindgren, or should I say Peter Lindgren, announced on April the 2nd, I think it was, on his YouTube channel. I will link that YouTube channel in my description down below. He's a YouTuber from Sweden and he's really blown up this last year. He's on 250,000 subscribers right now, and it's just amazing, and the quality of the videos that he makes is just excellent. I'm nowhere near his type of videos, but during these times when we are all sitting inside, we don't go out much, he challenged everyone to do a POV video, B-roll video, so that we had something to do. And it's been a great inspiration. It turned the mindset around. Anyway, that was my advertising for his channel, his competition. If you're a filmmaker and if you like to do some kind of B-roll videos, I highly recommend you to go into Peter Lindgren's YouTube channel, check him out, check out the competition that he announced, and make your own video. Anyway, in this video I want to talk about the Canon M6 Mark II, and I think that this camera maybe just turned into the greatest camera that you can buy. Coming up. Thank you so much for coming by my channel. Thank you so much for clicking into this video. I come out with one new video every week and I talk about cameras, tech gear and video making. And if this is something that you like, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It will really help me a lot. I think that the Canon M6 Mark II might have just become the perfect camera. Just recently, Canon came out with a firmware update to the Canon M6 Mark II that solved a problem that a lot of people have been complaining about. When the Canon M6 Mark II came out, a lot of people complained about the lack of options for shooting in 24 frames per second. But as of the last firmware update, this problem has now been solved. The M6 Mark II's big brother, the Canon 90D, already got this firmware update a while ago. And with that camera, you have been able to shoot with 24 frames per second for a while. But the firmware update for the Canon M6 Mark II, we had to wait a while, but now it's here. I have installed it on my camera and I can confirm that you now can shoot in 24 frames per second if that's something that you want to do. For me, who lives in Europe, this is not a big problem because I usually don't shoot in 24 frames per second. Usually I use 25, 30, 50 and 100 frames per second. But for everybody who lives in the United States and uses NTSC, you now have the option of shooting in 24 frames per second. So congratulations. One of the other things that a lot of people complained about or have complained about, not only with the Canon M6 Mark II but the M50 and the other M series cameras from Canon, is the lack of native lenses for the M system. Canon has 8 original lenses to the EFM lens system, and for a while these were all the lenses that you could get to the M system. But now Sigma has come out with 3 prime lenses, and this trio of lenses have a focal length of 16mm, 30mm and 56mm, and all these prime lenses have an aperture of 1.4. So these 3 lenses are really fast, and if you compare these lenses with Canon's native lenses, they really beat Canon in how fast they are, because The only lens that Canon has that offers the same aperture is the 32mm, and that is also f1.4. All other lenses from Canon, except the 22mm from Canon, which I'm shooting on right now, have a higher aperture than the Trio from Sigma. And as we're talking about the 22mm prime lens, in my last video I talked about image stabilization, and I had a question on optical image stabilization and the menu system in the camera. If you haven't seen that video and you don't know what the question was, you can click right up here and you can watch that video. But the answer to that question is yes. The first choice in the IS menu, the IS mode, on and off, relates to the optical image stabilization in the lens, because now when I put my 22mm prime lens on my camera, I no longer have the option of turning the IS mode on and off. So with Canon's 8 native lenses and Sigma's Trio, you have some options to your EFM system. But CanonRumors.com came out with some interesting news that there might be coming out 5 new EFM lenses from Canon. And this gives the Canon M6 Mark II and the M50 and the other M series cameras from Canon a lot more options when it comes to lenses. Now there are other manufacturers of lenses to the EFM lens system. I just wanted to make a point that there are options for you if you have a camera with the EFM system. Anyway, back to the Canon M6 Mark II. So with the new firmware update that gives you the option of shooting in 24 frames per second, so you get that cinematic look on your videos, and with the 5 new EFM lenses that are rumored coming out, I think that the Canon M6 Mark II might just be the best camera to buy if you're going to buy a mirrorless camera, at least in its price range. So if we quickly go through the other things that's positive about the Canon M6 Mark II, you have no crop in your 4K footage, you have a 32 megapixel sensor, you have a really easy to use menu system, you have in-body 4K time-lapse which compiles the pictures that's been taken in the time-lapse and makes it into a video so that you don't have to do that in post-editing. You have a microphone input, you have digital image stabilization, and if Potato Jet is right in what he says, then the digital image stabilization in the Canon M6 Mark II even looks better than the IBIS that's in the Sony A6600. I've not used the A6600 from Sony, so I can't say anything about that, but I do trust Potato Jet in what he says. Then you have the electronic viewfinder. Now I look at it as a positive thing that you have an option of taking off the electronic viewfinder if you don't want to use it, and if you want to use it, you can just put it on. I personally don't use the electronic viewfinder because I usually shoot video and I just look at the screen. And when we talk about the screen on the Canon M6 Mark II, this is a fully optimized touchscreen compared to other cameras. That means that you can press on anything on the screen or in the menu and you can quickly scroll through the menu, or you can quickly change focus, or you can quickly come into the quick menu just by touching your screen. Then you have Canon's dual pixel autofocus, and this is on top with all the other cameras when it comes to focus. Then we have the body of the M6 Mark II. There are some rubber coating around the body of the M6 Mark II, which gives you a really good grip when you're holding the camera. Then you have a lot of options when it comes to buttons on the camera. You can quickly change a lot of settings just using the buttons on the camera. And you have your own button controlling the manual and autofocus. You don't have to go into the menu of your camera in order to change from manual to auto or from auto to manual. A lot of other cameras you have to go into the menu system in order to do this. Then you have the option of shooting in 100 or 120 frames per second in full HD. This gives you a high quality in your slow motion footage. Of course, there are some negative sides with the Canon M6 Mark II. First of all, the biggest negative side with the Canon M6 Mark II is the flip up screen, because if you're into vlogging, you want to do selfies or whatever, if you need to put the screen all the way up and you have something in the hot shoe mount, you don't see anything. The screen is totally blocked and it will not even flip all the way up. But a real easy solution with the flip up screen is to buy a cage for the camera or an L bracket, so you have an option of mounting something on the side of the camera. Then we have to talk about the 4K image in the Canon M6 Mark II, because some people complain about the quality of the 4K. And yes, the 4K in the Canon M6 Mark II is an upscaled 3K. So if you compare the 4K in the Canon M6 Mark II with the 4K in the Sony A6400 or in the Sony A6600, the Canon M6 Mark II don't produce as high a quality 4K as the Sony cameras does, because the 4K in the Sony cameras is a downscaled 6K. So the Sony cameras have more detail in the 4K. But that said, the 4K in the Canon M6 Mark II is not a bad quality. The Canon M6 Mark II produces a really good 4K even though it is an upscaled 3K image. But the 4K in the Canon M6 Mark II, as it is an upscaled 3K, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because an upscaled 3K into 4K gives you a lower rolling shutter than, for example, Sony's A6400 or A6600, which has a downscaled 6K. Then it comes to the price. The Canon M6 Mark II right now on Amazon costs $876 US for the body only. If you want the kit with the kit lens, then you have to pay $1,134 US. And for this price, I think you get a lot of camera in the Canon M6 Mark II. Anyway, that's what I think. But what do you think? Do you think that in this price range that the Canon M6 Mark II is the best camera to buy right now if you want a compact mirrorless camera? Please leave me your opinion on this in the comment section down below. I would really love to know what you think about this. Anyway, that's the video for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And again, go into Peter Lindgrens' YouTube channel and find the video where he talks about the POV B-roll challenge. Take out your camera, make a video and post it on Instagram with the hashtag POV B-roll challenge, and maybe you will be in the top 5. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. And if you have done that already, please hit the notification bell too. Then you will get a notification every time I come out with a new video. I really want to make this channel a place where people that's interested in cameras, in Canon cameras and the EFM system especially, I want this channel to be a place where we can meet, where people can comment, talk to each other, share knowledge and make each other better. So I've already seen people in the comment section talking to each other, sharing ideas and knowledge. So please hit the subscribe button if you want to be a part of this community. I hope that this channel will grow into a really big community. So please again, hit the subscribe button and be a part of this community. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I really, really appreciate that. So that's it for this week. Maybe I will see you in another video. Bye. So, you're still here? Okay. A while ago, I made a commercial for a yoga studio here in Föda. and there are several yoga studios here in Førde, and I've made another commercial for the other yoga studio that's here in Førde. Actually, I made this yoga video before I made the one that I already have posted on my YouTube channel. And I thought, as a bonus for you sticking around to the end of this video, I'll show you this yoga video commercial. So again, thank you for watching. See you.
For meg så rommet, i starten det nok veldig viktig. I starten, når man ikke har en veldig etablert yogapraksis, så er man veldig avhengig av at omgivelsene, det ytre rundt en, på en sånn måte, for å finne roen og den rette modus. Når alt kommer til alt, så skal yoga komme innefra. Om du praktiserer yoga i din egen stue hjemme, eller går til et studio eller et treningssenter, det spiller egentlig ikke så stor rolle igjen, hvis du klarer å finne yogaen inni deg. Men jeg forstår at det måtte være den riktige atmosfæren, stemningen og alt dette her. Yoga for meg å finne fred i seg selv, bli venn med seg selv, bli ett med kropp og sinn. Og puste med bevegelse. Det å lære seg å mestre pusten mens du i disse her vanskelige stillingene. Fordi kan du mestre pusten din, så kan du mestre det aller meste her i livet. Lytt til lyden av pusten. Pust dypt, helt ned i lungespissene. Vær til stede. Da roer kroppen seg, nervesystemet roer seg, tankene roer seg, følelsene roer seg. Finne connection til deg selv, blir livet så mye bedre. Så det dette her med pusten som så veldig essensielt.